Hello everyone. Welcome to Sairam Sampatrao Education. Ella unnarandaru? I hope you're doing great. My name is Yamini and I am welcoming you to yet another session of the Disha series, a free daily mains answer writing series for TGPSC Group-1. ఏంటి స్పెషాలిటీ ఈ సిరీస్లో అంటే we are choosing a question topic wise, right? Monday is a subject, Tuesday is governance, that is I deal with governance, and Wednesday is another subject. So on a daily basis, every topic paina we choose a question, we post it on our Telegram channel at 8 a.m. in the morning, right? Now the answer to that question will be posted at around 7 p.m. on our YouTube channel, right? The material for the same is also available on our Telegram channel by evening. Okay, so inka mana Telegram channel ni follow avvakapote, do not delay, ventane follow ayipondi. It's on the same name, Sairam Sampatrao Education. All right, so follow us on the Telegram channel. And yes, the highlights, as I mentioned, scientifically designed program to help aspirants ace the TGPSC Group 1 mains. Right, we will see the approach of the mains answer writing, how to read the question, how to analyze the question, how to find out the directive words, how to understand what is the viewpoint of the examiner, what does he require, introduction ela rayali, body ela rayali, and conclusions ela rayali. Right, all of this we'll be training you. Right, detailed explanation of one mains question every day. As I told you, question will be uploaded at 8 a.m. every day on our Telegram channel, and detailed answer discussion session and model answer PDF will be uploaded on the same day at 7 p.m. Okay, so do follow us on YouTube and on our Telegram channel, so that you do not want to miss out any such content. All right, so before entering into today's series, I would like to brief you about few series or few other programs that our institute is providing to you, right? One such comprehensive test series program is the Vijetha, right? We have seen Mains Way is the Right Way program to train you in the mains answer writing. Then Disha vachesindi, that is also a daily answer writing series. Now to test your knowledge and to give you the feedback and to correct you, we have come up with Vijetha. All right, a comprehensive TGPSC mains test series program. We are taking the enrollments for batch 3. ఏంటి స్పెషాలిటీ ఈ ప్రోగ్రాంలో అంటే you have 10 sectional tests and 7 full length tests. Okay, detailed evaluation and feedback for all the tests within 72 hours. టెస్ట్ ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్ సెషన్స్ ఫర్ ఆల్ ద టెస్ట్. ప్రతి ఒక్క టెస్ట్లో ఉన్న క్వశ్చన్స్కి ఆన్సర్స్ ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్ సెషన్స్ కూడా ప్రొవైడ్ చేయడం జరుగుతుంది. కాంప్రిహెన్సివ్ అప్రోచ్ అండ్ మోడల్ ఆన్సర్స్ ఫర్ ఆల్ ద టెస్ట్స్. హ్యాండ్ హోల్డింగ్ అండ్ పర్సనల్ మెంటర్షిప్ అండ్ గైడెన్స్. ఆల్ అవర్ టీమ్ ఆర్ completely involved into mentoring you and providing you with full guidance. You can talk to Sairam sir anytime. Okay, because this is a test series and we are closely and personally associating ourselves in correcting the papers, giving you the feedback, the right feedback, and we are actually watching you and helping you improve. Kabatti, we are accepting only 25 serious aspirants. All right, so if you do not want to miss out on such a test series where you get the guidance from the best in the industry, do enroll by calling on this number or visiting our website, right? Okay, so ఈరోజు క్వశ్చన్ ఏంటో చదివేద్దాం. All right, discuss the role of non-governmental organizations, NGOs, in social change and development in India. How have NGOs contributed to the upliftment of marginalized sections of the society? Okay, so ముందుగా క్వశ్చన్ చదివేసుకున్నాము. నౌ లెట్ us అనలైజ్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద ఎగ్జామినర్ ఆస్కింగ్ యూ టు డూ. హీస్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ ఎన్జిఓస్, నాన్ గవర్నమెంటల్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్స్ గురించి మాట్లాడుతున్నాడు. ఓకే, సో హీస్ ఆస్కింగ్ యూ టు డిస్కస్ the role of NGOs in doing what? In social change and development in India. This is the first part of the question. All right, second part of the question enti? All right, second part of the question is how have NGOs contributed for the upliftment? Okay, he's asking you to write the contribution. Upliftment of evaru marginalized. Okay, so these are the two questions that we have to deal with, two areas that we have to deal with. First is discuss the role of NGOs in doing what? Social change and development in India. Second, contribution of NGOs again in doing what? Upliftment of marginalized. ఓకే, సో ఈ టర్మ్స్, ఈ కీవర్డ్స్ అనేది గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి. ఏంటి? రోల్ ఆఫ్ ఎన్జిఓస్ ఇన్ సోషల్ చేంజ్ అండ్ డెవలప్మెంట్. హౌ డిడ్ ఎన్జిఓస్, నవ్ యూ ఆల్ నో వాట్ ఆర్ ఎన్జిఓస్? నాన్ గవర్నమెంటల్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్స్ అవి. They basically help for the betterment of the society. They try to bring in better policies. They try to do the work that government has left, the government cannot reach. All of this background manandarki telusu. Now what are we supposed to write? Social change తీసుకురావడానికి. సోషల్ చేంజ్ అంటే ఏంటి? సొసైటీలో మనము సిన్స్ ఏజెస్ థింగ్స్ దట్ వీ హ్యావ్ బీన్ బ్రాట్ అప్ విత్, అలాంటి ఒక సోషల్ స్టిగ్మా కానీ, సోషల్ ద పేట్రియార్కల్ సిస్టంలో కానీ, ఆర్ ద వే థింగ్స్ ఆర్ ఇన్ ద ఫ్యామిలీస్ ఆర్ ఇన్ ద సొసైటీస్, దాంట్లో మార్పులు తీసుకురావడానికి హౌ హ్యావ్ ఎన్జిఓస్ కాంట్రిబ్యూటెడ్, వాట్ వాజ్ దేర్ రోల్, అండ్ అగైన్ డెవలప్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా. ఓకే, సోషల్ చేంజ్ అండ్ డెవలప్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియాలో వాట్ వాజ్ దేర్ రోల్ అండ్ కాంట్రిబ్యూషన్. ఇప్పుడు స్పెషల్గా మార్జినలైజ్ సెక్షన్స్ గురించి మాట్లాడుతున్నారు. సో వాళ్ళ లైఫ్ బెటర్ చేయడానికి, వాళ్ళని అప్లిఫ్ట్ చేయడానికి ఎలా కాంట్రిబ్యూట్ చేశారు ఎన్జిఓస్. ఓకే, సో దీస్ థింగ్స్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు రిమెంబర్. దిస్ ఈజ్ ప్రిటీ మచ్ ద స్కోప్ ఆఫ్ ద క్వశ్చన్. This is what I say, the scope and the mind map. Okay, NGOs is our hero now. Okay, two questions or two parts of the questions. How did they contribute? What was their role in bringing out a social change and development? ఇండియాని డెవలప్ చేయడానికి అండ్ ఒక సొసైటీలో ఒక మార్పు తీసుకురావడానికి, సోషల్ చేంజ్ తీసుకురావడానికి వాట్ వాజ్ దేర్ రోల్, అండ్ మార్జినలైజ్డ్ కమ్యూనిటీస్ యొక్క లైఫ్ బెటర్ చేయడానికి, మార్జినలైజ్డ్ కమ్యూనిటీస్ని అప్లిఫ్ట్ చేయడానికి ఎలా కాంట్రిబ్యూట్ చేశారు. దాట్స్ ఇట్. This is your question, nothing more, nothing less. Do not start to write about the history of NGOs or about Mother Teresa or the work she did in the eastern part of the country or throughout the country, or do not write about India. Recently India has not very recently, but yes, India has put strict restrictions on the funds that NGOs are receiving. So strict conditions అనేవి పెట్టిందనమాట ఫండ్స్ NGOs రిసీవ్ చేసేది. సో all of that is also not asked. All right, that is not at all asked. So make sure you limit your answer to what he is asking. All right, this is done. So scope into we have determined. Now let us see ఎన్ని పేజెస్లో రాయాలి. ఓకే, అండ్ ఎంత టైం అలొకేట్ చేయాలి మనం ఈ ఆన్సర్కి. 200 words. That implies you have to finish your answer in 2.5 pages. And how much time will you give? You'll give 10 minutes of your valuable time. Okay, Actually, stipulated time is around 12 minutes per answer, but we recommend you to finish the answers that are on safer side for you. అంటే మీకు కంటెంట్ ఉంది, యూ కెన్ స్టార్ట్ రైటింగ్ స్విఫ్ట్లీ అండ్ స్మూత్లీ వితౌట్ ఎనీ హసల్. అప్పుడు 10 minutesలో ఫినిష్ చేసేయడానికి ట్రై చేయండి. సో ద రెస్ట్ 2 minutes దట్ యూ స్పేర్ ఇన్ ఎవ్రీ క్వశ్చన్, అలాగా you will save up 2 minutes in every question, and that time you can utilize in questions that you do not have proper answers to. అంటే కాంటెంట్ అనేది ప్రాపర్గా లేనప్పుడు ఆర్ గ్యాదర్ చేయడానికి అవసరం వస్తుంది. సో యాక్చువల్లీ it is suggested that you finish your answer in 10 minutes. Okay, so now I actually give an exercise to in the Mains Way is the Right Way program to my students, where I ask them, now మనం స్కోప్ ఏంటో చూసుకున్నాము, క్వశ్చన్ ఏంటో చూసేసుకున్నాము. బిఫోర్ రీడింగ్ అవుట్ ఆర్ సీయింగ్ ఆర్ అనలైజింగ్ వాట్ ద మోడల్ ఆన్సర్స్, introduction, body and conclusion has, I usually ask my students to take out a piece of paper, okay, to take out a piece of paper and pen, and just a second, okay, and just write down introduction, body and conclusion, okay, I, B and C. I'm just trying to keep the scope as is so that it will be helpful for you. Oh god, the kashtam ayipindide. All right, so what do I ask my students is to just write down few keywords of what would they write, right? Introduction and rayandi ante I, body B, C conclusion, and keywords rayandi. What would you write in introduction? Just take few minutes అండ్ జస్ట్ స్కోప్ మేముంది, క్వశ్చన్ మేముంది, ఇది ఈ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఇంట్రొడక్షన్, ఇది చదవకుండా జస్ట్ గివ్ ఇట్ ఎ ట్రై. ఇంట్రొడక్షన్లో ఏం రాస్తారు, బాడీలో ఏం ఇంక్లూడ్ చేద్దాం అనుకున్నారు, హౌ వుడ్ యూ కంక్లూడ్. డు నాట్ రైట్ ద ఎంటైర్ ఆన్సర్, జస్ట్ రైట్ ఫ్యూ కీవర్డ్స్ ఆఫ్ వాట్ would you like to include in introduction, body and conclusion. Just a small exercise. We'll anyhow read all of this answer. We'll read the actual model answer as well. We'll read all of that and we'll go through it in detail. But this is just to just an exercise, so that later on when you correct yourselves, you will know where you're making any mistakes, if any, or ekkada correct cheskune scope undi ani. Alright, మీది మీకు తెలుస్తుంది. సో ప్లీజ్ ఈ వీడియో పాజ్ చేసుకొని జస్ట్ గివ్ ఇట్ ఎ ట్రై. ఆల్ రైట్, ట్రై చేశారని అనుకుంటున్నాను. నౌ లెట్ us do the exercise together. Okay. All right. What should the introduction have? Introduction. Introduce the historical and evolving role of NGOs in India. Emphasize their focus on social change and development among the marginalized sections. How did NGOs evolve, right? And in India, historical events enti, emphasizing their focus. What was the basic purpose of, or focus to bring in, right? It was to bring in social change and development. If you see the history of NGOs, basically reforms తీసుకురావడానికి ఆర్య సమాజ్, బ్రహ్మో సమాజ్, people understood that there is a need to make others' lives better, okay, who were suffering. For example, women were seen suffering a lot, and also communities like untouchables, marginalized communities. So వాళ్ళ లైఫ్ బెటర్ చేస్తే మన లైఫ్ బెటర్ అవుతుంది, అండ్ the goal in our life is to make the living conditions or make others' lives better అనే థాట్ ప్రాసెస్ తోటి రీఫార్మ్స్ తీసుకురావడం జరిగింది. ఆల్ రైట్, దెన్ ఇట్ మూవ్డ్ ఆన్ టు educating people or taking people on the divine side, while studying the religious texts, or what did their religious texts say, Vedic text గురించి కానీ అలాగా మూవ్ అయింది. దెన్ లేటర్ ఆన్ the concept of working or making others' lives better for non-profit. All right, voluntarily వచ్చి వర్క్ చేద్దాము towards making the lives of marginalized people better and not gaining anything from it, not expecting to gain anything from it అనే ఒక కాన్సెప్ట్ రావడం జరిగింది. Right, this is how NGOs have evolved. Today also there are many non-government organizations that are functioning towards these major goals. Right, what focus on social change, development in the country, and making the lives of marginalized sections better. All right, body. Explain how NGOs promote education among girls and marginalized communities, bridging gaps left by the government. Right, as I mentioned before, government ఏదైతే services provide చేయడంలో it is not able to complete its task, these NGOs come into place. Why is it much more easier for these NGOs to function? Is because they work on ground. They go to door to door వెళ్ళి సర్వేస్ తీసుకోమన్నా తీసుకుంటారు. దే నో వేర్ ద మార్జినలైజ్డ్ సొసైటీ యాక్చువల్లీ ఈజ్, వాట్ ఆర్ దేర్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్, కలెక్ట్ చేసుకోమన్నా కలెక్ట్ చేసుకుంటారు. బట్ ఇన్ ద గవర్నమెంట్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్స్, గవర్నమెంట్ అడ్మినిస్ట్రేషన్లో బ్యూరోక్రట్స్ డు నాట్ గో డోర్ టు డోర్. రైట్, దే డు నాట్ గో అండ్ స్పీక్ టు పీపుల్. సో గ్రౌండ్ లెవెల్ యాక్టివిటీ అనేది మిస్ అయిపోతుంది ఇన్ ద గవర్నమెంట్స్ వర్క్. సో అలా మిస్ అయిపోయినవి యూజువలీ NGOs come into place and they fill that gap. Right, discuss NGOs role in women empowerment, addressing gender discrimination and promoting financial independence. Highlight NGOs efforts in environmental conservation, raising awareness and promoting sustainable practices. Right, one of the major area that NGOs work is in the conservation of environment. All right, describe NGOs advocacy for fair resettlement and rehabilitation of displaced communities. Right, they also fight for and advocate for also people. Advocate అంటే ఏంటి, యూజువలీ ఒకరి సైడ్ నుంచి ఫైట్ చేయడము with the government also. If say suppose there is a new dam that is being constructed and a dam lo ఉన్న catchment area, if you see, because of water overflow or whatever reasons, the village that was already there, that is already inhabited village, adi is not a safe place, so danni khali cheyalsi vastundi. So what does the government tell? You have to relocate to a certain area and there you will be provided with all the amenities. Right, you will be provided with houses, you will be provided with land to do your work, you'll be provided with all the amenities, and it will tell you have to relocate to such place. And but what actually happens on ground, due to delays in these government projects or delays in giving them houses, ee relocation anedi proper ga jaragadu. Now what happens, these NGOs, they come and they fight for these people, they advocate. Okay, they fight for them, they advocate. Advocacy is this. Okay, government to paate, government ki against ka, they tell them that this was the policy, that you had to relocate so and so people but you did not do, and they fight with them. Okay, so that is what they advocate, and for fair resettlement and rehabilitation of displaced communities. Outline NGOs work in addressing social justice. This is also an important work. And human rights issues, providing legal aid and support. All right, so basically NGOs have come up to fight for the betterment of people in every sphere of life. They're looking at the environment, they're looking at the development, they're looking at education, they're looking at financial independence, they're looking at changing the society, they're looking at working with the marginalized communities and making their lives better. They're looking at human rights issues, they're looking at social justice, every sphere. Right, so how shall we conclude the answer? Summarize NGO's significant contributions to social change and development. If you observe, these are the points that was asked in the question. Okay, if I just see in social change and development. Okay, మీరు ఇలాగే you have to link everything that you're writing to what is asked in the question. Okay, all right. Okay, just a moment. Okay, complementing governmental efforts in ensuring holistic upliftment of marginalized sections. Again about marginalized sections. Okay, so ఎలాగని చేసాం మనము, we're talking about the significance of, we're telling them that yes, NGOs are important to bring in social change and development in India, and they're also making the lives of marginalized sections better అనే చెప్తున్నాం. we're concluding that way only. All right, so with this background in mind, we've decided what all to write. ఇంట్రొడక్షన్లో ఏం ఇంక్లూడ్ చేద్దాము, బాడీలో ఏం ఇంక్లూడ్ చేద్దాము, అండ్ కన్క్లూజన్లో ఏం ఇంక్లూడ్ చేయాలి అంతా డిసైడ్ అయిపోయింది. నౌ వాట్ ఈజ్ లెఫ్ట్? నథింగ్ ఈజ్ లెఫ్ట్. యూ జస్ట్ హ్యావ్ టు అటాక్ ఆన్ ది ఆన్సర్ అండ్ కంప్లీట్ ది ఆన్సర్ ఇన్ 10 minutes. All right, so let us see what the answer has, how the model answer is, and what all should be included in the answer. Okay, so answer చూసే ముందు, one of the most untouched point in the TGPSC or untouched syllabus, untouched area in the TGPSC Group 1 mains is Telangana movement and state formation. Okay, so we have come to the rescue. Udyamam ane test series though. This is TGPSC Group 1 mains test series for Telangana movement and state formation, because after the new state, this is the first time that the TGPSC Group 1 mains is being conducted. Questions ela ostayi, how should the approach be, what sections of this huge humongous syllabus is important, what is not, and how to frame the answers, where should the points be stressed, which points should not be stressed. All of this is a big question mark for many of the students. All right, so we have come up with a proper scientific test series to address this problem as well. Okay, so you'll have 15 daily tests, 3 sectional tests, and 200 plus best quality questions and answers. Detailed evaluation and feedback for all the tests within 72 hours, test explanation sessions for all tests, comprehensive approach and model answers for all the tests. Right, ఈ ఆన్సర్ మీరు ఎలాగైతే చూస్తున్నారో, you'll have every questionకి you will have a comprehensive approach of how should you frame your introduction, how should you frame your body, conclusion, and what should you include. Right, in the introduction, model answers, model introduction, body and conclusion. So all of this will be provided to you, and you can exactly talk to Sairam sir anytime and clarify your doubts. Okay, so do not miss this test series. This is at a very bare minimum price, where your complete doubts, complete basically Telangana movement and state formation is a big bit of tricky paper. Endukante, yes, as I mentioned, it has its own reasons. So take guidance from the expert, take guidance from people who have good experience. You can just leave it on to them and do your work. Do your work of practicing, writing the test series, being evaluated and getting better. All right, so the reason I'm telling you is the price is reasonable and bare minimum actually, and the efforts you're getting and the content you're getting is of good value. So do not miss out this opportunity. Enroll yourselves. You can contact on this number or my website www.sairamsampatraveducation.com ki velina. You can find out this series there, or if you contact us on this number, our team will help you out. Okay, so do not miss out on this. All right, one more series or one more program for you guys before looking at our answer. This is especially for SA. Okay, so we usually think that SA philosophy kada ఒక 2-3 క్వశ్చన్లు చదువుకొని వెళ్ళిపోదాము, we'll remove the philosophy, or remove kadu, bring out the philosophy from ourselves. It'll come out, it'll flow. Question paper chudangane, that is huge, human talent, natural talent అని అనుకుంటాం. But no, it is no talent. It is you might be writing 2 or 3 sentences, antaku menchi you will get nothing. You cannot produce anything by yourselves because we do not have that much experience in anecdotes in philosophy or facts in philosophy. All right, so yes, you have to be trained in essay writing as well to ace your essay paper if you want to see your name in the final merit list. Okay, so ఈ యొక్క పేపర్ కోసమే స్పెషలీ టు డీల్ విత్ దిస్ ఎస్ఏ పేపర్ వీ హ్యావ్ కమ్ అప్ విత్ ఎస్ఏ ప్రోగ్రామ్. వాట్ ఆర్ ద హైలైట్స్? కాంప్రిహెన్సివ్ కవరేజ్ ఆఫ్ ద ఎంటైర్ సిలబస్ త్రూ 25+ థీమ్స్. 25+ థీమ్స్ చుట్టూ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఫ్రేమ్ చేసుకొని వీ విల్ మేక్ షూర్ యూ ఏస్ ఆర్ యూ గెట్ బెటర్ in writing essays around the 25+ themes. All right, Sairam sir's exclusive system that can help you generate content effectively for your essay. Okay, how to generate the content, how to bring in that approach, all of that you'll be trained. Brainstorming techniques and anecdotes, quotes, data, facts and fodder points for every theme. All right, again, contact us on this number, or you can visit us on the website www.sairamsampatraveducation.com to avail this program. Okay, so now let us look into the answer. All right, answer kochedamu. Now, introduction ani side heading rayakudu, and ideally your introduction has to end within 2 to 3 lines. అండ్ దేని గురించి మాట్లాడతారు? మీరు బాడీలో దేని గురించి అయితే రాస్తున్నారో దాని గురించి మాత్రమే మాట్లాడతారు. ఓకే, నా ఎన్జిఓస్ ఈజ్ అ వాస్ట్ టాపిక్. ఓకే, సో యాజ్ ఐ మెన్షన్, నేను ఇందాక మీకు చెప్పినట్టు బ్రహ్మ సమాజ్, ఆర్య సమాజ్, ఆల్ ఆఫ్ దాట్ యూ డోంట్ హ్యావ్ టు రైట్. Just have to give a brief about what, because he is talking about how important NGO is to bring about social change and development. We'll start with, saying, NGOs asalu రావడానికి కారణం ఏంటి and what is their major goal. That's it. Okay, see, NGOs in India have a long history of voluntary service driven initially by religious motives. Right, over time their role has expanded to address various facets of social change and development, particularly among marginalized sections of the society. That's it, short and crisp. Okay, that is the reason I'm telling you your introduction has ideally to end between 2 to 3 lines. మీరు 4 to 5 lines stretch చేస్తున్నారు or 6 lines వరకు stretch చేస్తున్నారు అంటే మేక్ షూర్ యూ స్టిక్ టు దిస్ స్కోప్. రైట్, మనం సెషన్ బిగినింగ్లో స్కోప్ ఏదైతే అనుకున్నామో దానికి స్టిక్ అవ్వడం బెటర్, బికాజ్ ద లైన్ 2 or 3 lines you stretch also they have to be within the scope. అంటే they have to be about what you're writing in the body, not anything else. Okay, I hope this is clear. All right, body. Again, body ani side heading mention cheyakudadu. You should not write body. Promotion of education. NGOs have been pivotal in promoting education, especially among girls and marginalized communities like SCs and STs. They bridge gaps left by governmental efforts, ensuring that education reaches the unbenefited sections of the society. For instance, NGOs run numerous educational programs and schools in remote areas, focusing on retaining girls in schools and reducing the number of dropout rates. Okay, so education is the very and most touched area of voluntary help, because people know the value of education, they know the value of literacy. అది unbenefited peopleకి చేరాలి ఎంతవరకు అయితే అంతవరకు అని. ఈవెన్ ఇఫ్ దే ఆర్ నాట్ రిజిస్టర్డ్ యాజ్ ఎన్జిఓస్, దే ఆర్ మెనీ పీపుల్ హూ టేక్ అప్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఆర్ ప్రొవైడింగ్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ టు పీపుల్. ఆల్ రైట్, విమెన్ ఎంపవర్మెంట్. Gender discrimination remains a cultural reality in India, with women often facing significant disadvantages. Now, NGOs have played a crucial role in transforming the status of women by encouraging their participation in political, social, and economic activities. Organizations like Seva and Sathin work towards enhancing women's rights, offering skill development programs, and promoting financial independence through self help groups. Alright, so Seva is Self Employed Women's Association, where financial independence, employability, um, and financial knowledge, all of these training కానీ ఒక గ్రూప్ లాగా ప్రొవైడ్ చేయడం జరుగుతుంది. నా సాథిన్ ఈజ్ ఆల్సో సెల్ఫ్ హెల్ప్ గ్రూప్లో బేసిక్లీ ఒక పర్సన్ హూ హెల్ప్స్ దీస్ women in the rural areas to connect with the banks, right? So bank knowledge గురించి చెప్పడం కానీ or basically a link between the banks and these people, alright? So కొత్తగా వచ్చిన పాలసీస్ గురించి చెప్పడం కానీ వాళ్ళకి తెలియచేయడం కానీ, సో all of these people are working towards it. And self help groups మనందరికీ తెలిసిందే, right? So this is how women empowerment or changing the bringing about a social change kosam NGOs are functioning. Now let us talk about environmental conservation. What is their role in environmental conservation? The development process has led to environmental degradation, with NGOs actively working to combat this issue. Thousands of NGOs raise awareness about environmental conservation, promoting sustainable practices and intervening in projects that threaten ecological balance. Their efforts in reforestation, waste management, and pollution control are noteworthy. Right? There are huge number of NGOs who are trying to educate the general public, the people, about the environmental degradation that we are doing unknowingly. Okay, తెలియకుండానే చాలా degradation of our environment జరుగుతుంది. All right, resettlement and rehabilitation. Development projects often lead to displacement, as I mentioned, with affected populations receiving inadequate compensation. Now, NGOs step in to advocate for fair resettlement and rehabilitation of these communities. They ensure that displaced people receive appropriate support and compensation, thereby restoring their dignity and livelihood. Okay, జనాలది వాళ్ళ ఇల్లు, వాళ్ళ వర్క్, వాళ్ళ పొలం, their way of life, if that is taken away, there is a sense of loss of dignity amongst the people. So it is also in these situations that these NGOs come in to protect their, or to fight, advocate for their dignity and livelihood, and make sure that replace అయిన వాళ్ళకి కూడా ఫేర్గా కాంపెన్సేషన్ దొరికేలాగా చేయడం. ఆల్రైట్, సోషల్ జస్టిస్ అండ్ హ్యూమన్ రైట్స్. NGOs work tirelessly to address issues of social exclusion, domestic violence, and human rights violations. They provide legal aid, counseling, and support to victims of discrimination and violence. Initiatives like Agrani Foundation's Jan Suraksha Kranti scheme highlight the economic empowerment of marginalized sections through savings and life insurance program, right? So this is an LIC program by the government, okay, to help the marginalized sections. All right, so we're done with the body. Okay, body of the answer ni touch chesamu. So we spoke about how are NGOs functioning towards bringing in social change, development in India, and also their contribution towards the upliftment of marginalized. Okay, so ఈ 3 points ni touch chesama. Did we touch them? Yes, absolutely. So body is done. Okay, so you have to link your answer to make sure that whatever the question was asked in the by the examiner, ఆ పాయింట్స్ని టచ్ అయ్యేలాగా మనం మన ఆన్సర్ అనేది రాసుకోవాలి. ఓకే, సో నౌ లెట్ us see what the conclusion should look like. Again, conclusion side heading రాయకూడదు, and your conclusion should ideally end between 2 to 3 lines. అండ్ దేని గురించి రాస్తారు? బాడీ గురించి మాత్రమే రాయాలి. బాడీలో దేని గురించి అయితే రాస్తామో దాని గురించి మాట్లాడుతూ కన్క్లూడ్ చేయాలి ఆన్సర్. ఓకే, అండ్ అగైన్ ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ మేకింగ్ అ స్ట్రెచ్ ఫ్రమ్ 4 to 5 lines, లైక్ 2 to 3 నుంచి 4 to 5 lines రాస్తున్నారు అంటే అగైన్ స్టిక్ టు దిస్ స్కోప్. ఓకే, all right. NGOs in India have significantly contributed to social change and development by addressing దేని అడ్రస్ చేస్తున్నారు NGOs? ఎడ్యుకేషన్ని, విమెన్ ఎంపవర్మెంట్ని, environmental conservation, resettlement and social justice. Their voluntary efforts complement the governmental initiatives. Government తీసుకొచ్చే initiatives to tackle all of these issues, to tackle women empowerment, to tackle education. వాళ్ళ ఎఫర్ట్స్తో పాటు ఈ NGOs కాంప్లిమెంటరీగా పనిచేస్తున్నారు కాబట్టి ensuring holistic development అవుతుంది, అండ్ upliftment of marginalized sections of the society కూడా అవుతుంది. Okay, so this is the answer, the model answer. We are giving a positive way forward, a positive approach, a positive comment about the NGOs, telling that their efforts are complementing the governmental initiatives, and ultimately society అనేది is growing better and marginalized sections upliftment కూడా జరుగుతుంది అని. Okay, so we are done with the answer కాబట్టి now what would I want you to do is, if you remember, I've given you an exercise in the beginning. Okay, now it is time for you to just remove the paper that you've written, introduction, body and conclusion. It's okay how much ever you've written, introduction kinda whatever lines, whatever you wanted to include, body kinda and conclusion kinda. Now just check and compare. Okay, compare what you've written and what the actual answer demands. Okay, it is all right, takko rasna ekko rasna, you will do the necessary corrections, but what I want you to observe strictly is that are you writing within the scope or no, right? These things, social change, development, marginalized, if you see మనకి ఆన్సర్ మొత్తంలో ఇవే ఉన్నాయి. ఇంట్రొడక్షన్లో ఉంది ఇదే, బాడీలో దీని గురించి ఉంది, అండ్ ఆఖరికి కన్క్లూజన్లో కూడా ఇవే ఉన్నాయి. దట్ ఈస్ హౌ యర్ ఆన్సర్ హ్యాస్ టు బి. గివ్ ద ఎగ్జామినర్ వాట్ హీ వాంట్స్, ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ వాట్ హీ వాంట్స్. ఓకే, డు నాట్ డెకరేట్ ఇట్, డు నాట్ ఓవర్ డెకరేట్ ఇట్, డు నాట్ ఓవర్ డూ ఎనీథింగ్. This is how your answer has to be. So just check if you're writing your answer within the scope. Okay, scope lo matrame undali. If you're writing something outside the scope, then yes, it is high time you correct yourselves, bring your answer back to scope, make necessary corrections, and try to be within the scope. Okay, that is a complete no if you're going out of scope and writing something else apart from what the answer demands. That is the reason mind map practice, scope, all of this is really helpful. All right, so yes, this is the end of the answer. I will see you on the next session. Until then, take care of yourselves, keep practicing, keep getting better, keep improving. Bye bye from me.